After the release of Heavy Hitters, Legend Story Studios had a scoreboard. And on that scoreboard, it was a tally of all the wins of the heroes in Heavy Hitters for a given period of time. And what they dubbed is, okay, whichever hero has the most amount of victories in that period of time wins the deathmatch arena, right? And they made like a lore story and what have you. This was released at Collector's Week, right? Last year in 2024. And Kassai, of course, was the winner at 58 points, I believe. And to reward the winners of those tournaments that they didn't tell at the time of the, this whole thing in the background, is that they were going to give a Command and Conquer with Kassai on it, and it was a limited run of 58 cards. Along with that card, there was a page out of the diary of Kassai. So they took Kassai's diary, right, and they just ripped pages out of it, and they gave it to all of the winners. Now, I think that there's a secret coded message in these pages. However, there's not that many on the interwebs. I talked to Roy, the Keeper of Tales, who's on Discord, and he runs legendarystories.net. I'll put a link down below. A great resource for lore of Flesh and Blood. And I just wanted to put a call of action out there. If you have any of these pages, or if you know someone who won with Kassai and who has one of these pages because they got the nice CNC, please, can you message me at bronsonsblood@yahoo.com, and I would love to get a picture of the page. Currently, I think Roy only had 8 out of the 22 total pages from just screenshots online of people trying to sell at the time. But there's a lot of pages we don't freaking have. And just to give you a little bit of, little breadcrumbs of where I'm going at. So there's a bunch of these pages scattered around, but there's odd dots. There's dots. There's like one word that's underlined. There's certain dots that just don't look normal. It looks like something's going on here, and the dots are above the eye. So some eyes, right, have just one dot, but others have 2 dots. And if you look at how the dots are oriented, it looks like there's certain lines and everything that can be made. I think one possible explanation is there's some connect the dot type of thing where you have to connect certain dots, and those dots create a letter. And then on each page, there's a different letter or multiple letters, and you have to add up all the pages in order to read out what it really says. There could be some type of like 3 spaces after the dot, there's a letter, and you have to add up those letters. There looks to be some type of hidden message in the dots, in just rewording stuff. So, and there's one page in particular where it has weird spacing. Like the top of it is normal, but then the bottom has like weird spacing of how everything's outlined. And sometimes there's 1 dot after a sentence, and sometimes there's 2 dots. So maybe those 2 dots or something. I don't know. But long story short, whenever there's like 2 dots, something's going on, in my opinion. I think there could be a coded message. And this wouldn't be the first time the Legend Story Studios sprinkled this in, to where they sprinkled in hidden messages into their products. However, it's really hard to decipher something when you only have like 25% of the total pages. So that's why I just want to make a quick video just saying, hey, if you know anyone, please, reach out. Would love to just, all I need is like a little snapshot of the page. It would be nice. And I'll give it over to Roy, the Keeper of Tales, at legendarystories.net, so he can, upload that on his platform. And if at all possible, on the back of each of these pages, or somewhere in what you were given, there's a number, right? I believe I was talking to TCG Ted, shout out to him. He made a video about this last year of one of the pages that he saw or he got or something like that. I believe he won it. I'm not sure. Long story short, his page was 11 out of 22 that he was talking about. And if you have the number along with the thing, that would help a lot, because that's probably the order of the pages, right? Like there's a certain order of all the pages. And when you add them all up, I think that there's going to be some sort of semblance of some type of code or what have you. And if there isn't, let me give you the counterpoint. Honestly, it could just be type of thematical engineering of like, oh, well, when you have a quill and ink, like, and you're trying to dot an I, sometimes you do two dots. You know, there could be some type of theming like that, or maybe the pronunciation is different, right? With two dots above an I versus one dot, maybe you sound it out differently. But there's other things where like sometimes two dots are below like a random letter D or S, and maybe that's as well, you know, the way the phonetics that it's trying to emphasize. There could be that, and I could be just going down a rabbit hole that has nothing at the end of it and it's just pure dirt. But it's just something interesting to think about, and there could possibly be something there. So again, if you know where I can find any of these pages, would greatly appreciate it. If you send it, I'll put my email down below along with legendarystories.net. Highly recommend that website for going around and looking at all the lore for Flesh and Blood, and it also has a lot of the code, like the code for the languages as well. I thought was really cool. There's like Imperial, and there's the Arcane one, and Solana. So it has all the different codes of how those work. So if you're interested in those hidden texts in the cards that you see, well, they can kind of help you decipher that, and it has some examples I thought were really neat. And there's a lot of great lore and background on it, and Roy seems really interested in just putting it out there in the world and giving a place for information. So I definitely want to point you to that. So that's all I have to say. And happy hunting. And yeah, and if you notice something in the code, yeah, it'd be cool to reach out. Be interested to see if you can look at it better than I do and look at the pages in a certain way to view them. And I believe Roy is going to upload them on his site. I'll put a direct link down below to that if you want to look at all the pages thus far that are out there. But that's about it. Cheers, man. Have a good one.